Myself, Asma Kausar, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering, GPT Warangal. So here our subject is design of machine elements. So first we will know the why we need to design any machine. So here for to design any product, so first we should have a need. Why we need to design that product? So it's a human need. We must and should have need. So purpose what for that. So next is desire to do to get that one, and ambition so that we'll pursue that. So these three are must and should for design of any product. So first of all, first what we need to have is need to design any product. So first thing we require is need. So if we have need of that product, we must and should do design. So second thing is we should have a desire to get that product. So next is ambition to finalize that product is important in designing. So after design, we'll go for the manufacturing so that the products will be manufactured. So here, design is a process of formulating a plan for achieving a product. So here we must and should have a plan to achieve that product. So here mechanical design. So mechanical design. So here we do. So mechanical design involves the application of the principles of science and technology in creation of products. So here to create a new or better machines. So here we use science and technology for the machine design to create a new or better machines and improving the existing ones. So first of all, we can create a new and better machines. Means already it will be new that. So if suppose in earlier days we use sweeper to sweep the floor, but nowadays we can use what vacuum cleaner. So that is new thing. Better machines. If in olden days we use like landline phones, nowadays we use cell phones. That is the better machine. So next one is to improve the existing ones. So if in olden days we have portable TVs, now we have LEDs, LCDs and all. So that is the machine design. So in machine design we can create a new one and we can better the older version. And next one is improving the existing ones. So in this way, so in this case we required machine design. So here in machine design intended to develop products which are safer, more efficient, comfortable, economical. So these are the 4 cases we must and should be should take care of. That should be safer and more efficient than older one, and it should be comfortable and economical. These 4 things we must and should consider while designing any product. So in machine design, first we required mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, so theory of machines, workshop technology, and engineering drawing. All these should be comes under the machine design. So it is not simple only one thing. It is the combination of all the things like mathematics we required, engineering mechanics we required, strength of materials. In mathematics we use some formulas. Engineering mechanics we use like loads. All these we consider in the engineering mechanics. Strength of material like load, so stresses, all these will, and types of material, all this comes under strength of material. Theory of machines, mechanisms will comes under theory of machines, and workshop technology, manufacturing process will comes under workshop technology. And finally engineering drawing is also required to finalize the product. Before product go onto the floor, it should be first, it must and should have a design. So that is in the drawing version. So that can be done in the on the floor. So these are all comes under machine design. It is not a single subject. It is it comes with the mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of material. As I said, engineering mechanics like load, all this comes under engineering mechanics. Strength of materials, it is types of material, stresses, all this comes under this. Theory of machines. Theory of machines is like mechanisms. And workshop technology, it is like manufacturing processes, different manufacturing process comes under workshop technology. And engineering drawing, it is a final design, that is the drawing on the paper. These are all comes under machine design. So to design any product, all these factors these subjects comes under the machine design. So machine design is defined as it uses some scientific principles and technical information and imagination of a machine or system. So here machine design uses the scientific principles and technology in creation of new product, imagination to get a new product. So this is a machine design. So machine design develop products to perform specified functions with maximum efficiency and economy. So finally, a product must and should perform specified functions, specified mechanisms with maximum efficiency and economy. So here in this classification of machine design, we have three types. One is adaptive design, development design, new design. So the design in adaptive design, the designer makes minor alterations or modifications in the existing design of product. So like use of fiber body instead of mechanical metallic body in the automobiles, as I said. So like earlier we use portable TVs, now we use LED TVs. So like that. So the improvement of an existing design. So next, development design. So the modify the existing designs into a new by adapting new material or different method of manufacturing. So we change the entire design. So by adapting new material or different method of manufacturing, like introduction of cell phones in place of landlines. So that is the improvement. So that is the development design. So next one is new design. In this, designer develops entirely new product or system which is not existing earlier. So it is a new design. This is an entirely imaginative product. So that is vacuum cleaner. So these are all three different types of machine designs. One is classification of adaptive design, development design, and new design. So in this, the parts design should be strong enough to withstand the load and must be adequate to meet the functional requirements. Further, they must be manufactured economically. As I said earlier, It should be safer, more efficient, and comfortable and economical. So next one is design factors. Factor to be considered in machine design. So first one is nature of load. Second one is working stress. Third one is mechanical properties. Mechanical properties of material of the product. The next one is manufacturing process. Next one is reliability and ductility, durability. Next one is cost. Next is life of product. Next is safety. These factors must and should be considered while designing any part. So here first one is nature of load. In the nature of load, the load is an external force acting on a component is called load. So when the load acts on the body, the internal resistive force resists the deformation. So when you apply the load on the product, any part, there is an internal resistive force which opposes the deformation. That resistive force offered by the component per unit area is called stress. So per unit area of cross section is called induced stress. So the load may be classified according to type of stress produced, that is tensile, compressive or shear stress. Load may be classified according to three types. One is type of stress produced, that is tensile, compressive and shear. The next one is the load may be according to the nature of application, that is steady, variable and suddenly applied loads. And next third one is specification of load, magnitude, direction and nature is the most important factors to be considered while designing any component. So load is nothing but an external force acting on any machine parts. When you apply certain load, the part will resist the load. The part will resist deformation. Internal resistance. So there is an internal resistance opposes the load. That is, it doesn't allow any deformation up to certain limit. That induced resistive stress is called, that induced resistive force is called stress. So it is within the limit, then it is called as allowable stress. If the load crosses the allowable stress, there is a chance of starting breakage. So that allowable within the elastic limit, there is a allowable stress. So when you apply load, the part itself opposes that load. So it opposes the deformation. So that force is called resistive force. So the resistive force per unit cross section of area is called stress. So within the elastic limit, then it is called allowable stress. So load may be classified by three types. One is type of stress. It may be tensile, compressive, shear. And next may be nature of application, that is steady, varying, fluctuating and shock and impact loads. So next one is specification of load, that is magnitude, direction and nature is the most important factors to be considered while designing a component. So next one is working stress. So working stress is defined as the ratio of ultimate stress to the factor of safety. So here There are the various stresses in the component are tensile stress, compressive stress, shear stress, and crushing or bearing stress. Tensile stress means when the load is acting along the axis of the part and it increases the so that is there are four types of stresses. One is tensile stress. So here the load acting along the axis and perpendicular to the area of cross section is called axial load. When the axial load is tending to stretch the bar is called tensile load. So tensile load per unit area is called tensile stress. Here tensile stress is it stretches the bar. So load acts along the axis. And next one is compressive force. Here also the load acts along the axis of the shaft or any part, and here it shortens the length of the part. So then that type of stress is called compressive stress. Shear stress is here the load acting tangential and it tries to cut the part. Then there will get the shear stress. So bearing stress, if the compressive load is not uniform over the cross section area, then resulting compressive stress is called bearing stress or crushing stress. So here the load is uniform across the area of cross section, but in the crushing or bearing stress, the load is not uniform across the area. Then that is bearing or crushing. These are the different types of working stresses. Next important one is mechanical properties of material of the product. So very important one is mechanical properties. We must and should know the mechanical properties so that which material is used for which part we can understand. Otherwise, without knowing the mechanical properties, we cannot design any product. So as a mechanical engineer, we must and should know the product's mechanical properties. Materials. Selection of suitable material is the responsibility of designer, and his success depends on the choice of material. So when the designer knows the characteristics of various materials, he can able to choose the most suitable material to the purpose. So as a mechanical designer, we must and should know the properties of each and every material so that we can use effectively that material for that product. So proper material depends on the following factors, that is suitability of material for service conditions. So in which condition we are using that material, like it in hot condition or in cold condition. So which type that service conditions must and should be known. So next one is size and shape of the part. Either we are going for bigger part or smaller part. So in some cases we use very small. If you take a wristwatch, we use small gears in that. So there we cannot use metal one, where we use like plastic gears. So that is like use knowing the size and shape of the part, we can able to use proper material. Next one is condition of load to which the part is subjected. So what type of load here applying is also must and should be known. A certain materials can be resist impact load, certain materials cannot be applicable for impact loads, varying loads. So that has to be known. Next one is manufacturing requirements. So what type of manufacturing process we can use? Availability of manufacturing processes. Based on that, we can able to use proper material. Like we are using casting, molding, like forging. So based on that manufacturing processes, we can able to choose the right material. So next one is availability of material. We can so easy available material can be used. Will be the first choice. Next one is cost. Cost is the last choice. So that is various proper factors to be considered while selecting any material. So next very important one is mechanical properties of that material, any material. So most important one is strength. It is defined as the capacity to resist external loads under given conditions. So it is defined as the capacity to resist external loads under given conditions, that is strength. So next one is ductility. It is the ability of a material to deform under tensile load. This property facilitates wire drawing operations. So ductility is used in wire drawing. So it is a ability of material to deform under tensile load. It deforms under tensile load. So next one is brittleness. Brittleness, it is the ability of material to fracture with very little deformation. The brittle materials have low percentage of elongation. So brittle materials doesn't have elongation. It directly breaks it. There is no elongation in that material like glass. Ductility is like mild steel. Malleability, it is the ability of material to deform under compressive load. Due to this property, materials are hammered and rolled into thin sheets. So this is malleability. So next one is hardness. It is defined as the ability of material to resist abrasion, scratching, or indentation. This is desirable property of the part subjected to wear. So next one is toughness. The ability of material to absorb energy before fracture is called toughness. So fatigue is the maximum stress at which the material will operate indefinitely without failure is known as fatigue strength or endurance limit. So this is like for the varying loads. So resilience, the ability of material to store energy within the elastic limit is called resilience. So this is some of the mechanical properties. So next one is engineering type of materials. So engineering materials basically classified as metallic and non-metallic. In non-metallic like plastics, rubber, wood, ceramic, asbestos comes under non-metallic. Metallic, ferrous, non-ferrous classified again. So ferrous, it has carbon in it like wrought iron, steels, cast iron comes under ferrous metals. In steels, it is carbon steels and alloy steels. In alloy steels, high chromium, low carbon, or high nickel steels, wear resistance, steels like high chromium, high manganese, high strength steels, nickel, chromium, manganese. Tool steels, tungsten, chromium, molybdenum, vanadium. Alloy steels are high strength steels. So in non-metallic, it is aluminum and its alloys, copper and its alloys, lead, tin, and nickel comes under non-ferrous. So in aluminum, it is wrought alloy, cast alloy. In wrought alloy, it is aluminum, copper, silicon, manganese. Cast alloys, aluminum, silicon, manganese. So copper and its alloys, it is brass, tin, bronze, aluminum, bronze. In brass, it is cold working, hot working. In cold working, it is commercial brass, cartridge brass, hot working, montage mills, high strength, high tensile brass. Tin bronze, it is cast wrought, cast gunmetal, leaded bronze, phosphorus bronze. Wrought iron, it is tin bronze, phosphorus bronze. In aluminum bronze, cast wrought. These are the basic types, basic engineering materials. Generally, this ferrous, non-ferrous. So non-ferrous is alloys. Ferrous is it is wrought iron, steel, cast irons. So these are the engineering materials. So based on the properties of these metals, we can able to find proper material for proper product. So next one is process of manufacture. So another important one is manufacturing process. So the various process of manufacturing product are casting, mechanical working, cold working, hot working, machining, forging, forming, in non-conventional machining process. So casting metal should can easily so metal has easy with which it can be cast into different shapes. So it must should have melting properties. So mechanical workings like cold working, hot working. So after this, it has to be machined into shapes. So machining processes like forging, forming, and non-conventional processes. Based on these processes, we can able to find the proper material. The next important one is reliability and durability. Very important. Reliability is the ability of product to perform required function under given conditions for a specific period of time. So it may be measured as a probability of success at any time or the time for which the level of success can be assured. So if the product successfully works for certain period of time, that is the reliability. We can 100% assure that this product can be successfully worked for this period of time. That is reliability. We can blindly believe in that. So particular the particular time it can be performed exactly that function. So next one is durability. In durability, the ability to resist adverse effects of environment, use, maintenance, and with the progress of time is called durability. So first specific period of time with all the maintenances, how much time it can be sustained is the durability. So reliability is we can 100% we can assure that it can perform up to this much time. So durability is how much time it can work with the effect of environment, use and maintenance is called durability. So why reliability and durability is important means if the failure of the product is likely to cause serious injuries to the operators, so durability and reliability in this sense becomes more important. So if suppose some machine parts are there in any manufacturing process, so there are certain workers working under that machine. So if we cannot give exact reliable and durability time, so we cannot know when that machine will failure and when the part will break, so that there is a chance of injuries to the person under the working. So that's why the reliability and durability is must ensured while designing any small part. So cost. So while estimating the cost of product, it is necessary to consider quality of the product. So where the cost and quality are interrelated. The increase in quality will have measurable increase in cost. That the aim of the designer should be to design a product with acceptable quality at minimum cost. This is very important while designing any product. So life of the product. So number of times the product is operated before failure. So unnecessary length of life product increases the cost of the product also. So next one is safety. Machines are potentially dangerous to the operator and equipment, so that designer must ensure that design is safe in operation. So some other factors to be considered is standardization. So already certain standards will be there for the product. We must ensure obey that standardizations and assembly, maintenance and appearance and market needs. All these should be considered while designing any product. So if you are designing any like car, here we take here first one is size and shape. So the size of the car must be within the limit. It should not increase more or it should not be less. And shape is also in the certain particular way. You should obey that size and shape. So next one is material. So what machine part we are using, what material, that is already certain there, so you have to obey that. So next one is important one is safety and performance, appearance, reliability and durability and cost. We should consider all these factors while designing. Here we are designing car. So here First, when designing any product, what is the important factor is need. Without any need, if you design for that product, there is no market for that product. So that's why most should have that need. So next one is desire to do that. So next one is ambition. So while designing any product, these are the main factors for designing of any product. So next to machine design, here what in machine designing, either we can create a new one and better machines, and next improving the existing ones. These are the important factors while designing any machine product. So here we should, while developing, we should consider it has to be safe, more efficient than older one, and it is more comfortable and economical than older one. So these are the very important in designing any product. So this is important one. Here machine design is including of mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, theory of machines, workshop technology, and engineering drawing. Combining of all these topics will conclude the machine design. So each and every, we need to study all these things while designing any product. You must and should thorough. When after studying all these only, you can able to design any product. So machine design, we uses some scientific and technical information, and we should have imagination of a machine or a system. So we use scientific principles and technical information, and we should have an imagination of machine or system. So it has, the machine should have specified functions with maximum efficiency and economy. So we have three designs: adaptive, development, and new. Factors are nature of load, working stress, mechanical properties, process of manufacturing, reliability and durability, cost, life of product, and safety. So while designing any product, you must and should consider these factors while designing any product. So load is external load. So when you are talking about load, you should consider three things. One is type of stress, that is tensile, compressive, or shear, and nature of application, that is steady, variable, impact, and third one is magnitude, like how much load you are applying, direction, all these you consider while designing any product. So working stress, mechanical properties, that is strength, ductility, brittleness, malleability, hardness, toughness, fatigue, resilience. These are all mechanical properties we must and should know. And types of materials we have to know. And process of manufacturing, either casting, mechanical working, machining processes, durability, ductility. Next to cost and quality are interrelated. So if you increase the quality, the cost will increase. So designer must and should be like acceptable quality at minimum cost, life of the product and safety. So other one is standardization, assembly, maintenance, appearance. All this should be considered while designing any product.